The archetype we're taking a look at today are Battlin Boxers, a Zixel-era archetype used by the 5th Barian Emperor Alit, which is the 4th Barian Emperor actually we're taking a look at on this channel in terms of archetypes. So yeah, Battlin Boxers are rank 4 spam archetypes, and those are really fun in my opinion. So let's start things off with the level 2 Battlin Boxer Big Bandage. Once per turn, when this card cannot be destroyed by battle. Once per turn, you can target one Battlin Boxer monster in your graveyard or that is banished that has a level. All Battlin Boxer monsters that you currently control become that monster's level. Yeah, the purpose of this thing even existing is that in the anime, Alit can use it to summon Ronin Raccoon Sandayu to snap a Gulag out of his berserk state. But in terms of actual effect, it's not bad because it'll get all your Battlin Boxer monsters to level 4 99% of the time. But yeah, I'd say avoid this if you're planning on building a quality Battlin Boxer deck. Their next monster is the level 3 Battlin Boxer Counter Punch. During the damage step of either player's turn, when a Battlin Boxer monster you control is attacked or attacking himself, you can banish this card from your hand or graveyard. That monster gains 1000 attack until the end of this turn. You can only use the effect of Battlin Boxer Counter Punch once per turn. You're mostly gonna use the hand effect since this is a decent hand trap after all. It's a prototype honest for the archetype, but it's far from being the honest we all know and love. So yeah, run at least 2 of these because it's a pretty sweet card to use in some of the more casual builds of this deck. And competitively it can save you a lot of times. So yeah, I'd say definitely run this one. Their next monster is also a level 3 Battlin Boxer Rabbit Puncher. At the start of the damage step, if this card attacks a defense position monster, destroy that monster. Ah yes, classic defense sniping, low attack monsters. Mystic Swordsman level 2 did it first, and now yeah, a lot of monsters are now following up with that. But yeah, this is probably the best monster since his effect is not limited to face down defense position monster as it's with most other defense sniping cards. The second best in my opinion is Drillroid. But yeah, I definitely run 2 of these because yeah, you never know what that face down defense position monster or any other defense position monster with huge stats can pose a threat to your plays. So yeah, against super heavy samurais it's actually pretty sweet to pull off. So yeah, run at least 2 of these. Their next level 3 is Battlin Boxer Rib Gardener. It's also their final level 3, I think. And during either player's turn, you can banish this card from your hand or graveyard, then target one Battlin Boxer monster you control, banish it until your next standby phase. Well, it's kind of bad. You see, most of the Battlin Boxer monsters are level 4, so yeah, they're probably gonna go into Xyz plays, and the Xyz monsters are the monsters you probably want to protect most. So yeah, if you banish them, you swipe them off with their materials, and they don't get them back upon returning to the field. I'd say don't run this if you are sane enough to not do it. Alright, now we get to the main meat, the level 4s. Battlin Boxer Glassjaw is their first one. 2000 attack, 0 defense. And when this card is targeted for an attack, destroy this card. When this card is sent to the graveyard by a card effect, you can target one Battlin Boxer monster in your graveyard except Battlin Boxer Glassjaw added to your hand. Well, it's actually pretty sweet since it can search upon immediately getting destroyed. But why though? Why does it have to do that? I mean, I've seen some variants where this was splashed into Mechlord builds in order to get Mechlords out quickly onto the field. So yeah, not everything is bad, but why the attacking gimmick of being destroyed? In my opinion, they should have given him the Mad Archfiend effect, where it switches to defense mode upon being attacked. So yeah, at least you could protect it properly then. But yeah. But this actually is a 3-of staple because this is a really easily summonable 2000 beater, so yeah, run 3 of these. Their next monster is also a 3-of staple of some sort, and is Battlin Boxer Headgeared. When this card is normal summon, you can send one Battlin Boxer monster from your deck to the graveyard. Once per turn, this face-up attack possession card cannot be destroyed by battle. An easy protection, foolish burial effect, what's not to like? Well, it's actually more of an Armageddon Knight for the archetype, since it works on normal summoning and it's all of them are fire monsters, so yeah. It's a kind of aesthetically it's a mix of Foolish Burial and Armageddon Knight, let's leave it at that. So yeah, definitely a 3-of staple since it dumps your resources into the graveyard, which you can proceed to revive, go into rank 4s, what's not to like? Yeah, and it has a tolerable protection from battle, which means it can survive a turn or 2, so it can be used as an Xyz material, run 3 at all times. Their next level 4 is also a 3-of staple, and that being Battlin Boxer Sparer. If you control a Battlin Boxer monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. If you do, you cannot conduct your battle phase for the rest of this turn. The battle phase restriction is really annoying, but what's not there to like in the form of special summoning this guy if you control a Battlin Boxer monster. So yeah, this is also a definite 3-of staple since it's basically a Kage to Kage for an archetype, and archetypal Kage to Kages are always nice. So yeah, run 3 of these. Their next monster is Battlin Boxer Shadow. During your main phase, you can detach one Xyz material from a Battlin Boxer Xyz monster you control, and if you do, special summon this card from your hand. You can only use the effect of Battlin Boxer Shadow once per turn. I don't know what's the purpose of this even, especially during the time of its inception. But today I guess it can be used to get some link materials in order to go into links, but yeah. I really don't know what's with the detach effect in order to special summon this card. If it was detaching from the opponent's Xyz monster, then this would have been a pretty sweet and kind of fun to pull off effect. But as it is now, it's pretty bricky and clunky for my liking. But yeah, run if you really feel like it. Their next monster is Battlin Boxer Switchiter. When this card is normal summoned, you can target one Battlin Boxer monster in your graveyard, special summon that target. You cannot special summon any monster during the turn you activate this effect except Battlin Boxer monsters. This works well in conjunction with double summon and headgeared as in comboed. So yeah, you can normal summon headgeared, dump a monster, use double summon to summon this guy, and then revive said monster, and then even use Sparer, which gives you 4 monsters at once. And if you have multiple Sparers, wow, this is actually a nice swarming consistency, and I really like that, especially in our rank 4 spam build. I'd say definitely run 3 of these in any build. Their final main deck monster is Battlin Boxer Veil. When you take battle damage, you can special summon this card from your hand, and if you do, gain life points equal to the damage you took. I mean, it's a decent recovery option, but nothing too special in my opinion. If anything, it helps you with rank 4 spamming, and that's always a plus in my book. But yeah, I'd say rely on Sparer if you want easily special summonable monsters. But yeah, run at least 1 or 2 of these if you feel like it. Alright, moving on to the Xyz monsters, we have the rank 3 first, because we have quite a decent amount of level 3s in the main deck. That being Battlin Boxer Cheat Commissioner. It requires 2 level 3 monsters, and all monsters your opponent controls must attack, if able. While you control another Battlin Boxer monster, your opponent cannot target this card for attacks. When an attack is declared involving another Battlin Boxer monster you control, you can detach 2 Xyz materials from this card, look at your opponent's hand, then set 1 spell card from their hand to your side of the field. Alright, the Xyz monsters with effects whose effects can only be used once. I love this. Can you smell the sarcasm here? But yeah, fun fact, this card along with Exchange and Amazoness Chainmaster, well, this card being to an extent, are the only cards in the entire game which can fetch stuff from your opponent's hand. But yeah, why the spell card, don't ask me, because most spell cards here are gonna be normal spell cards which are in the hand, so yeah. I'd say the best card you can actually snag from this is Soul Charge, but yeah, your opponent's probably gonna use it by the time he draws it. Yeah, I'd say avoid this if you are planning on building a quality deck out of Battlin Boxers. Their next monster is now the rank 4 Battlin Boxer Lead Yoke. It requires 2 level 4 Battlin Boxer monsters, and if a Battlin Boxer monster you control would be destroyed by battle or card effect, you can detach one Xyz material from this card instead of destroying one of those monsters. And when an Xyz monster is detached from this card gains 800 attack. So basically, if it loses all of its Xyz materials, it becomes a 3800 attack beater. Nothing else very much special about this except the protection effect, which is decent. So yeah, I'd say run 1 or 2 of these. Their next level, rank 4, is number 79 Battlin Boxer Nova Kaiser. Requires any 2 level 4 monsters, and once per turn, you can attach 1 Battlin Boxer monster from your hand or graveyard to this card as Xyz material. This card gains 100 attack for each Xyz material attached to it. When this card you control is destroyed by your opponent's card by battle or card effect and sent to the graveyard, you can target 1 level 4 or lower Battlin Boxer monster from your graveyard up to the number of Xyz materials this card had on the field. Special summon those targets. Always run 3 of these because not only does he gain more attack with each Xyz material it's attached, but also he can, upon dying, he can revive a huge number of monsters, which allows you to make a comeback or more use of them, or use them just as protective walls in order to survive the opponent's onslaught. I always love monsters which have a post-destruction soul charge effect. So yeah, definitely run 3 of these at all time. Their next monster is number 105 Battlin Boxer Star Cestus. It requires 3 level 4 monsters, and during either player's battle step, if a Battlin Boxer monster you control battles an opponent's monster, you can detach 1 Xyz material from this card, negate the effects of the opponent's monster until the end of this turn. That monster you control cannot be destroyed by that battle. Also, your opponent takes any battle damage you would have taken from that battle. So yeah, effect negating during battle is always nice, as evidenced by anyone who runs Crystal Wing. So yeah, this is actually really nice, since you can actually use this card's effect if your opponent has a stronger monster, and in order to save yourself, you apply the Amazoness Swordwoman effect on it. So yeah, but the downside is actually that it requires 3 level 4 monsters, which actually isn't quite a downside, since combined with Headgear, Switch-Hitter, Sparer, and well, multiple Sparers at that, you can actually quite easily summon this thing. So yeah, run at least 2 of these. And their final monster is the Chaos version of the previous entry, Chaos number 105 Battlin Boxer Comet Cestus. Requires 4 level 5 monsters, or a rank up magic. When this card destroys an opponent's monster by battle and sends it to the graveyard, inflict damage to your opponent equal to half the destroyed monster's original attack. If this card has number 105 Battlin Boxer Star Cestus as an Xyz material, it gains this effect. Once per turn, you can detach 1 Xyz material from this card and target 1 monster your opponent controls, destroy it, and if you do, inflict damage to your opponent equal to the monster and destroyed monster's attack on the field. Suddenly we're focusing on burn damage of all things, but yeah, they're mostly pretty sweet, especially if you summon it with rank up magic and have the Star Cestus as Xyz material, because you can actually get rid of some nasty beaters and burn the opponent for their attack. But the downside that it targets, because there are really so many targeting protections as well, and in this day and age. So yeah, running this is actually run by preference, but in my preference, which should be most people's preference, I'd say run as many times as you run Star Cestus, which should be at least 2 of them. Alright, their first spell card is Battlin Boxer Spirits. Send the top card of your deck to your graveyard, then target 1 Battlin Boxer monster in your graveyard, special summon the target in face-up defense position. You can only activate 1 Battlin Boxer Spirits once per turn. Okay, so it's an archetypal monster reborn, which for some reason mills the top card of your deck to your graveyard. Probably if the top card was a Battlin Boxer you want to revive, God help you with that if you're actually meaning to pull that play off consistently. So yeah, this is pretty much an archetypal monster reborn, which you can only activate once, so I definitely say run 3 of these at all times. And that was their only spell card, so yeah, their first trap card is Jolt Counter, a counter trap. During the main battle phase, when a spell or trap is activated or a monster effect is activated while you control a Battlin Boxer monster, negate the activation. If you do, destroy that card. I am really disappointed that this is only limited to a battle phase for some imbecilic reason, because this would have been a really awesome card to use in any build. But it is an archetypal solemn judgment, so yeah, run at least 2 of these. And their final trap is their counter trap last counter. Man, both of their traps are counter traps. When an attack is declared involving a Battlin Boxer monster you control and an opponent's monster, negate the attack, and if you do, send that monster you control to the graveyard. Then one Battlin Boxer monster you control in attack position, if you declared the attack, gains attack equal to the original attack of that opponent's monster. Also proceed the damage calculation using those monsters. Then you take damage equal to the amount of attack gained from this effect. Why the burn effect at the end? I am not really fond of that, and I'm confused as to why that is there. But yeah, as for the card itself, might be specific, but it's actually a pretty decent card to use. Running 1 hurts, but don't stock up on it, since it most likely will be dead in your hand until you have a proper setup of using it. And now it's time for the grade. Consistently provided with Foolish Burial, Headgeared, Switcheter, Sparrer, and even some generic support such as a Goblin Bird Warrior, Lady of the Wasteland, UFO Turtle if you really feel like it, since they're all fire monster, Rhoda even, since they're all warriors. So I'd say this actually is a pretty incredible amount of consistency for one of the more famous rank 4 spam builds, so I'd say a definite 3 out of 3 in this regard. Now power is questionable because it's limited to only their Xyz monsters, but since being rank 4 spammers, they're quite easy to summon, so I'm gonna give them a 3 out of 3 as well. Now comeback ability provided with Soul Charge and Battlin Boxer Nova Kaiser's effect. These guys can actually come back from quite a few things, so I'd say definitely 2 out of 3 in this regard. Now protection, I mean, there's not much of this in my opinion. There is the Jolt Counter, but it's only limited to a battle phase, so I'm gonna give him a 1 out of 3 there. And as for the versatility, since being a level 4 and rank 4 spam build, these things can be splashed in many things. And like I mentioned when talking about Glass Jaw, I've seen Mechlord Battlin Boxer builds, so I'm gonna give him a generous 2 out of 3 there. So yeah, Battlin Boxer is a really fun archetype, one of my personal favorites aesthetically, and I'd like to see more support for this, because I honestly like seeing those Battlin Boxers being focused on the battle phase and then boxing the shit out of enemies who pose a significant threat for them. I'd really like to see more support. I'd like to see a Link monster with this much swarming consistency, as I mentioned, with Sparrer, Switcheter, Headgeared, and all other level 4 which can special summon themselves really easily. I'd really like to see a Link monster for this archetype. Could Konami be listening in? Could Konami be watching like they did with my Stratos meme video? Please, Konami, give us a Link monster if you're watching this right now. But anyway, that's it. Thank you all so much for watching. Stay tuned for more videos and updates. Comment, like, and subscribe. And as usual, I'll upload the next vid whenever I can. See you all. Have a good day and peace.